Ladles and Jelly Spoons, welcome back to Badgerworks. Today, this. Yes, we are continuing with our Ghost of Kyiv build, the ICM 1/72 scale MiG-29, and hopefully today we'll get it finished. So, let's get on with it. So yes, we are back with our MiG-29. This has gone on way longer than I anticipated, but that's just the way it is. I've had a lot of things going on lately with health and work and all kinds of other things. But we're on the home stretch now. So what we need to do today is we need to get the missile attached to the aircraft, and we need to sort out the base. So what we need to do, let's just turn this over. The kind of annoying thing of it is, I don't know if that will actually sit on its back. That's handy, because obviously there's an antenna on the top of it, and I don't want to knock it off, but it looks like it will actually sit upside down reasonably well. Let's just move that out of the way for a minute. So what we have is this Perspex rod, and we're going to attach that to the missile rail, and then we're going to take our missile, which is here, and we're going to attach that to the end like that. I'll just put that there for a second. And then we have our LED noodle, which I have now lost. It's here somewhere, hang on. So we'll put our noodle on the end here. Obviously attach the wiring. And then we need to hide this. But I've got an idea for doing that. So the one issue that's going to determine where all this goes is how long the wires are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically attach the wires to the LED first, then attach the LED to the end of this, and then that will determine like where we're going to position this, if that makes sense. So let's get the soldering iron out and connect this wiring back up, and then we'll go from there. Right, so we've got soldering iron, soldering paste, solder, everything else. I need to try and get that bit of wire off the end of there. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So let's put some soldering paste here and here. And let's try and get these wires attached. Oh, where are my glasses? Hell, fuck, see what I was doing. There we go. Right, let's try that again, shall we? That's actually not. Let's turn that around a bit. Right. Oh, missed. Right, that's that one. Oh, I should have done the other one first. Oh, no, this is going to go all over the place. We'll get it, it's all right. There we go, got it. Right. So that's on there, and what we'll do is we'll give that a quick test and make sure everything still works. Because if the wiring doesn't work at this point, basically we're doomed, but we'll see. Right, let's, oh dearie me. Right, let's put that on there. That works. That's near enough. Right, so that's that done. So what we can do now is, let's get rid of this for a minute. If you don't have one of these, by the way, get one. They are so useful when you're doing stuff like this. It's literally like having another pair of hands. Let me get the soldering iron out of the way, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with this rod. Right, now, this is where everything's going to get very exciting. So we need this on the end of here, but we also need to figure out how we're going to attach the missile to the end. Now, I think what I'm going to do, let me just move this out of the way for a second. I'm just terrified of knocking something off of this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole, because I drilled holes in the ends of the missiles, just basically, A, for somewhere to hold them, and B, for somewhere to make it look like they've got an exhaust nozzle on them. And I think I can use that to attach this. So what I'm going to do, let me get a drill and find me glasses again. There they are. And what we'll do is we'll drill a hole in the end of this, hopefully somewhere in the middle, but it doesn't really matter that much. So this is one of the legs that I cut off of the LED. So I might better use that instead. But yeah, that might be better because it's a bit more rigid. Stop laughing at the back. Oh, God. Right. So that goes there, and then that goes... Right, let's trim that off. About there. Like that. And that should fit like that. Yes, good. Right, so that goes like that. So this is just some super glue gel that I've got. So let's put a little drop of this on the end of here, like that. And then put that on there like that. And hopefully it'll be somewhere near straight. Right, there we go. That's straight? That's nearly straight. Good enough for government work, as Bunny Kitten always says. Right, so we'll let that dry for a second. I'm just wondering what to use to attach this to that. Because we're basically trying to glue two dissimilar materials, so we can't use a weld bond, that won't work. So I don't know whether to use this super glue or use some araldite, some epoxy. I might use epoxy. I think that will work better. But I'll tell you what we'll do first is we need to attach the LED to the rod. And I'm going to do that the way I did it before, which is basically just using a couple of bits of wire. So I've got some bits of copper wire here, and I'll just use those, and I think that will do us. Because I could glue it on, but I don't know how the glue will react. So I think we'll do it this way. Oh, this is going to be hilarious. I just suddenly had a thought. I did start the camera, didn't I? But I did. It's all right. Oh dear, listen to, I don't know if you can hear that rain out there, but it is hammering down. Right. Good grief. I've got to go to work in a minute. Right, let's get that started. There we go. That's good. Right, let's just nip those loose bits of wire off. Like that. Keep those bits. Right, and then we'll just fold that like that. So there we go. And now what we'll do is we will very carefully just very loosely wrap that wire around the rod like that. And now we need to attach that to that. Oh dear. Right, let's mix up a little bit of araldite, a bit of cardboard to mix it on. We need a little bit of this. I apologise if this is not all incredibly visible to you, but as you can imagine, this is not the easiest thing in the world to do under the camera, but you get the idea. Oh. Right, let's get this mixed up. The funny thing of it is, it's actually quite cold here in the workshop today, and it's, in a way, it's actually quite helpful because this is quite gloopy, which means hopefully it won't run or anything. Right, I think that will do us. So what we need to do now is put a nice bit of this along here, and I'll put some here as well. Just try not to get it all over the wire. Like that. Get that out of the way. And now I'm going to have to sit here and hold this, so that's going to be exciting. But we can put this, make sure that's the right way round. Like that. And then I'll just sit here and hold it. Right, so I've got that propped up in place now, and I'm going to leave that. I mean, it's 5-minute araldite, but I'm going to leave it for like a good long time. Make sure that epoxy is well and truly set up. I might even actually put a piece of wire around that as well, just as a bit of additional protection, just to make sure there's no way it can come off. But we'll leave that to dry, and then I'll show you how we're going to hide this. Right, so this is plenty of time to dry now. You can see how I propped it up. It's a bit of sponge and half a coffee stirrer, just to prop it up while it was drying. But that seems to be okay. I'm just hoping it's not going to fall off the second I turn it out the other way. No, I think we're all right. So that looks all right. So the next thing we need to do is hide this. And for that, I'm going to use, oh dear, this. This is cotton wool. And I've got to figure out how the best way to do this. Because this is obviously way too much. One of the things I've noticed, I've looked at like videos of missiles in flight, and they basically just leave like a white trail behind them. There's no color to it or anything. You know, you think there'd be like a bit of black or something, or but there's not. It's just pure white, which actually makes life easier because it means we can just put this on and be done with it. Hopefully, I just got to figure out how to do it. I'm just trying to tear off like a strip of this. I'm wondering if we can do it. That's probably still way too much. All right, let's see if we can. Get this, kind of wrangle this into some kind of order. There, perfect. Right, so I think what we want to try and do is kind of wrap this around somehow. Like that. So I'm wondering whether to kind of try and spiral it around it like I did with the wire. I don't know if that would make it better, but I don't know. Got to figure out a way to hold it in place as well. So I'm thinking that what might be an idea is maybe use some like PVA glue and see if that will hold it. Because I have got this, obviously this Mod Podge. I've got PVA and all sorts of other things as well, but this might be the answer. Let's see if we can wrap this around somehow, because obviously I need to be very careful with this, not to you know, break this off. There's part of me that has the idea of actually putting like a little cable tie or something around there just as a bit of belt braces, but I think it'll be all right. Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll glue this end. Let's try this. Right, let's wrap that around like that. And oh God, this is fraught with peril. So what I really need to do is lift this up a bit. Like I need some more hands. Right, let's Right, what can we put this on? Maybe I can. Oh, that might work. That might just do it. Right. And then what we'll do is we'll oh god. Just trying to keep this under the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Right, let's get rid of right, I think we're getting somewhere. I mean, honestly, that doesn't look too bad already. I just need to try and tidy this up a little bit. Right, let me have a little faff around with this and get it teased into place. But I think you get the idea. I don't think that looks too bad at all so far. What I might even do, actually, I just had a thought, I might even give this a little spray with some hairspray and use that to kind of, you know, shape it into place, because obviously that's what hairspray is meant for. Let's give that a try. Hairspray, I've got some hairspray right here. Right, let's put that there like that. And this is just cheap hairspray. This came from Sainsbury's. But you've seen me, I use this for paint chipping, but it might work for this as well. Let's just... Ooh. Right. And then we can use that to... Oh yeah, that's working. Oh, that works really well, actually. Right. Yeah, I think that'll work. That doesn't look too bad at all. Right. Okay, let me have a little fiddle with this and put some more hairspray on it, and then we'll come back and have a look and see what it looks like. But you can see what I was doing is basically just block this, you know, with a bit of tissue or something, and just put some hairspray on it, and that's actually working rather well. And when that dries, it will help hold everything in place. Right, back in a minute. Right, well, I don't think that looks too bad. The only trouble is that the wires are showing a little bit there, which is annoying. Oh. There. Right, I think that looks all right, doesn't it? Looks suitably smoky. So what we need to do now... Oh, let's just pop that down for a second. So yes, what we need to do now is start start thinking about the base and the electronics for the base. So let's move on to that. We're actually not far from being done now. Right, so now we're going to turn our attention to the base. And this is the kind of base you've seen me use these before. It's just 3D printed. What I've done, it's got the fuzzy sides on it, but I have made a slight modification. Now, obviously, to support the aircraft, we need some kind of a stand. So I've actually, there's a hole here, and this is part of the print. So if we look on the inside, you see I don't know, will you be able to see that? But I've basically printed like a little protuberance, for want of a better word, that is hollow, and it has a slot in the side of it here. And that's something we can put the our Perspex tube in and run the wires through into the base. Now, because this is going to be the top of the base, we need to be a little bit more careful in treating it as more than we would normally, because this is just going to be painted. Now, I don't know if you can see that or not, but even though this is actually perfectly smooth to the touch, but you can see there are kind of like marks in it, and there's a bit there where it's a little bit lower than the rest. And if we just paint over this, those marks might show through the paint, which I don't want. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to hit this with this. This is High Coat, as usual. Not a sponsor, but, you know, as always, if anyone from High Coat is watching. But this is filler primer. So, as it says here, perfect for small dents and scratches. So this is kind of like a thicker primer, and it's designed to fill tiny imperfections like this. So I'm going to take this outside and give it a spritz, and we'll see what it looks like. Right, so there's the first coat, and you can still see there's some stuff shining through, but what we'll do is we'll let this dry, and then we'll hit it with another coat, and we'll just basically just build up the layers until it's filled all of those gaps. So I'll keep on at that, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Right, it is the next day. I left this to dry overnight, and that looks pretty good. There's a couple of little bits here. Here, I'm trying to get the light to catch it so you can see it. But what I'm going to do is, hang on a second. I'm going to use this. This is a 120 grit sanding sponge, and I'm just going to lightly go over this to smooth out the surface, just to get off any high spots, like that. I don't know if the light can catch that or not. But well, you can see it on the brush there. But just take the top layer off just to smooth this out, and then I'll give it another coat of the primer, and then I'll leave it overnight again. Right, I think we've got that as good as it's going to get. It's not perfect, but it will do for what we're doing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to prime the whole thing in black with this the High Coat matte black primer, and then once that's done, I will tape off the edge, prime the top in white, and then I've got some colours to paint on the design. And for the design, we're basically going to do a Ukrainian flag. So yellow at the bottom, blue at the top. I did actually look to find out what the actual colour should be, and I've got something that is as close as I could get. So again, these are High Coat. This one is Ford Jasmine Yellow, and this one is Blue Rel 5012, which is almost the exact right shade. But that's what we're going to do. So I'll get all this primed up and everything, and then we'll put these colours on and see what they look like. Right, so as you can see, I've masked off the edge. I've given it a coat of white primer, and what we're going to do now is we're going to hit the whole thing with this Ford Jasmine Yellow. Now, it's a good idea when you're doing different colours like this to do the lighter colours first and then do the darker colours, because darker colours will usually cover better. So we'll spray it with this, we'll leave it overnight, and then we'll mask it up and do the blue. Right, and there it is with the blue on it as well. It's a bit glossy at the moment, but I'll leave this to dry for a while, and then I'll give it a coat of matte lacquer just to seal and unify everything. And then we can go on from there. But I think that's come out looking rather well. I'm very pleased with that. Right, now we've got the base all painted up, we can start thinking about electronics and wiring in the charging circuit and everything. So I've got a few bits here that I'm going to be using. So I have a switch, I have a battery. The battery came out of a certain device that will remain nameless, because otherwise I'll get demonetized by YouTube. Because apparently talking about batteries from certain devices that begin with V is promoting harmful practices. So anyway, there you go. Anyway, so this is the charging circuit we're going to be using. You've seen me use these before. This is a little mini USB charging circuit. Someone asked before about these, and you can get, this is the reason I use these ones is because I bought like a board of about 50 of them a long time ago, and I'm still working my way through them. You can get the exact same board, but hopefully you can see that. These ones have Type C USB chargers on them, or ports on them, so you know they're just slightly more modern. It's exactly the same board, you can see. It's the same thing, it's just a slightly more modernized version. But I'm going to use this because I've got loads of them and I want to use them up. So we've got that. We have a little rocker switch here, just a little simple rocker switch battery. This is a terminal block or junction block that I'm going to use to attach all of the wires inside this to the wires from the aircraft. So we'll put that to one side for a minute. And then we've got some soldering paste and solder, obviously. And I've got a whole bunch of wires that I've cut. So what we need to do first is connect the battery to the charging circuit. So if we look at this, what we've got here is, you can see on the outsides it says out positive, out negative, and then in the middle it says B positive, B negative. So the battery connects to these two inner terminals, and that's to actually charge the battery, and then the power to your device goes on the outside. It's fairly self-explanatory, but you know. Also worth noting, on the other end here you have plus and minus. So these two here basically correspond to these two here. I'm not quite sure why you would ever want to use those, but they're there if you need them. So what we're going to do first is desolder these wires here. So we'll just do that, get rid of that. And the main reason is just because these wires are different lengths, and I would rather have wires the same length. So we're going to just get rid of those. Oh, there's another little bit on there. There's also, I don't quite know how they wire these things up, but it's very odd how they wire these things when they're in the devices that they came from. So I always think it's easier just to start afresh, as it were. So what we need to do is, as I said, connect this to this. So we'll start with this, and I have two wires here. So we'll just pop that through the positive and bend it over like that, and then we'll pop this one through the negative and fold it over like that. And then we will apply a judicious quantity of soldering paste with a little brush here. I'll say you've seen me do all this before, but I always think it's worth just revisiting for people who may not have seen it. And I'll just put a blob of that there, and a blob of that there, and then we'll just turn this over, and a bit of belt and braces. We'll do the underside as well. Like that. And that like that. And there we go. And what we can do now is attach these wires to the battery. Now, the nice thing about these batteries is you see they have a big red and black, so you know which end is which is quite helpful, obviously. So we'll do the same on here. We'll do a bit of soldering paste on the wire. Right, so we pop that on there and try not to burn my fingers. And there we go. That's that one. And then we'll turn that over. That on there. Like that. And now, if we plug a USB cable into this, you'll see the charging light lights up. So we've got two lights on this. There's a red one and a blue one. So red means it's charging, blue means it's fully charged. So, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. So that's that. I'll just take that out there for a second. So now we've got that, we need to connect this to the switch, but we can't do that until everything's in the base. So before we put that in, I'll just put the wires on this end, and then we can put it all together and solder it all together. So this will go to our device. So we'll pop that through there. Oh, come on. Like that. And then we've got this short one, that will go to the switch. So we'll pop that through there. Bend that over like that. And then we solder all that up. So, soldering paste. Like that. And solder. And solder. And then again, we'll just turn that over and do the other side. There we go. So that's that. So what we need to do now is make a bit of space, because we've now got to get all of this into, actually I'll tell you what I will do before we do all that is I'll just wire this to the other side of this switch, because it will make life a little bit easier. I'll just pop that through there. Like that. Give that a good dob of soldering paste. Like that. Like that, because that's just a little bit easier than doing it when it's all in place. Right, let's get the base in. Right, so there's our base. What we also need is something to stick that down with. Hang on a second. Right, I've got some double-sided pads here, and what we're going to do is use these just to hold everything in place. So I'll stick one on the underside of this, like that. And then what we'll do is we will very carefully pop that in where it needs to go, and then stick it down like that, you see, like that. And now this should work like that, you see. So that's that. What we're going to do next is we are going to thread the switch wire through there, and we're going to pop that in there, push it in until it clicks like that. And what we need to do now is take this wire, just make sure that switches off, and we're going to put this through here like that. Bend that round. Like that. And then apply a judicious quantity of soldering paste. Like that. And we'll solder that switch. Like that. Right. And now we will take our little junction block here, and I need a screwdriver. There's a screwdriver. Is that going to fit that? Oh, it will. Right, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and we're going to pop that in there. Right, and we pop that in there, like that. Tighten that, and then we take this one and we pop that in there like that, and we tighten that. Oh. Like, oh, what is going on with that? Right, get in there. There we go. Right, now, just pop that to one side for a minute. We're going to get another one of these sticky pads, and we're going to use this to secure the battery, just so that it's not flapping around in there, that's all. So we'll just put that on the bottom of there, and we will stick that down like that, you see. And now we've got everything ready to attach the top. So what I'll do is I'll just plug this in for a minute and let it charge, because I don't know how long this battery's been. I don't think it's ever been charged, to be honest. What we can also do is, because obviously these charging lights, we can't see them from the outside, so we can fix that as well. Let me get set up and I'll show you how we do that. So what I've got here is a piece of old a frame from another model. This is where the clear parts were, and you can see on the edge here you've got a nice corner. So what we do is just cut this off like that, and this is why I always keep all these old frames, because they come in handy. And what we can do is we can use this to transfer the lights from the charging LEDs, the status lights, to the back of the case. So we need to measure this quickly and see what size it is. So let's have a look at this. That is 3mm, just slightly under 3mm, which is handy. So what we'll do is we also need to just sand this, because the trouble is when they mould these, they don't come out completely round. But what we'll do is we'll just give that a quick sand, just to get rid of that ridge, and that will help us out immensely, and you'll see how in a minute. There we go. So now we get our base back in, and what we need to do is we need to drill a hole in the back here that is 3mm, but we need to make sure we get it in roughly the right place. So we'll just pop that, so about, yeah, that'll work. Right, so what we do is we take a small drill and we drill a hole. Let's just double check that. Yeah, about there. Like that, you see? So that gives us a little pilot hole. And then what we do is we take a 3mm drill bit, which should be this one. Yep. And we drill through and open that hole up a bit. Oh, I think my daughter's coming. Oh, you brought the bird. Right, my daughter's here and she's brought the parrot.
Oh, no, it is a bit scary.
Well, it's just because he's never been in it. I don't think he's ever been in there, has he?
No, I don't think so. You want to go up and down? You want to see people? Oh, is it real now? It stinks in there. What have you been doing?
Soldering.
Oh. Well,
I
you
should
going to
say
bite me?
I should say it was fine until you came in.
Sorry, you want to go up again?
Yeah, give him here for a minute. Let's see if we can. Yeah, get on. No,
No.
he's clinging wildly to your hands.
Go on.
Because he's. There you go, get on.
There you go.
I don't know if this will work, but. Bird. Don't chew the camera, bird. You're not sure about this, are you, mate?
Oh, is it all new and scary? I want to go up.
Wait, you'll have to.
Go here then. When he does that outside.
I know.
It's like, there's no roof.
We're trying to get him used to being outside. He is very much an indoor bird. He does not like the outside because there's no ceiling.
You can't tap a beak on it. It's not real if you can't tap a beak in it.
Yeah, he likes to tap his beak on things to prove they're real. And he likes to tap his beak on the ceiling. And of course, when he's outside, he can't tap his beak on the ceiling. Are you dancing now, bird?
Yeah.
So I think now he realises there's a ceiling in here, he's a lot more comfortable. There's just so much going on in here, isn't there, bird? All these new things that you've never seen before. Now there's the real birds outside.
Is there a pigeon on the roof?
It might be a pigeon or it might be a magpie. He also likes to sit on the windowsill next to we got a bird feeder outside the house, and he sits on the windowsill and watches the birds on the bird feeder. Oh goody, now you're on my shoulder. That's nice.
To scare them off until a magpie comes along and then he falls off the...
He's terrified of everything. He's scared of the blue tits. Anyway.
Well, unless he sees them coming and then he likes to be a big bird and protect his house.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you got to go down. You can't stay out here forever, unfortunately. Stop biting me. There you go. Bye-bye. No, don't get off.
That clicking sound you can hear. He clicks his beak when he's annoyed.
I guess.
Anyway, take him back in the house. Oh, go on, clear off. Little rat bag. No, don't flap. Just keep hold of him. Because the last thing we want is for him to fly away. He has done it once. Fortunately, he's not a very accomplished flyer, so he tried to fly away and ended up crashing into the hedge. Parrots are not the best flyers in the world. Anyway, moving on. little bit of a diversion there. So I've drilled that 3mm hole, and that should be big enough for this to pass through. With a bit of brute force and ignorance, I might just need to open that up a little touch more. Hang on. Like that. Right, and then what we do is we pop that through from the inside like that. And I hope you can see what I'm doing here, but what we're going to do is we're basically going to put that in between those two LEDs, like so. And then we are going to secure that in place with some hot glue. So we just put a nice blob of hot glue. Oh. Like that. Oh, that hot glue is really old. You see? And we just make sure that stays in where it needs to be. Let that glue cure. Like that. So we'll let that dry for a second. It's also not a terrible idea, while you're doing this, to put some just on the charging board as well, just to hold it, you know, make sure, a bit of belt and braces, you know. Just like that. The only trouble with hot glue is it's all stringy. So there we go, that's got that. And now we take our cutters and we just snip like that, twang. And that gives us that, you see. And now, hopefully, this will work. But if I plug this in, you can see that that brings that light out to the front. And because it's in between both of the LEDs, it will basically refract the light from both of them. So when the red one goes out and the blue one comes on when it's fully charged, you'll see both of them. So it just gives you a little bit of a status. So that will do for that. What we need to do now is work on the top of the base. So that's next. Oh, and just before we do move on, this has been on charge for a while now, and you can see that now it's charged, the light's gone blue. So as I said, it will transfer the light from both LEDs. So that's that. Yes, let's move on and do the top. Right, now the fun really starts. Because what we need to do now is get this all through here. Which is going to be absolutely hilarious. So let's just pop this down for a second. So I'm sure I mentioned this before, but just as a reminder, all the overspray underneath here. What we've got in here is I basically made it part of the moulding, or part of the print, but there's a little standoff here with a slot in it for the wire to go through. So what we're going to do, or what we need to do now, is get these wires through the hole and fed out of here, and then get the rod into the hole. Stop laughing at the back. So I think actually it might not be a bad idea to do it like this. And obviously we need to do it without breaking the wires. Right. One of them's gone through, but of course the other one hasn't. Right, well, I think we're getting there. There we go. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay, so now, we need to make sure that we keep this in the right orientation, and then we need to try and get that in there. Like that. Okay, that actually went way better than I thought it was going to. Now, this is going to be the really fun bit, because what we need to do now is get these wires into here. Oh dear. I'll do that screwdriver. There it is. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Has that even got it? I think so. Ooh! God, don't do that. Right. Now let's try and get this one in here. Right, has that got it? There we go, that's got it. Oh. Right, let's pop that on there. Okay, now we have one more final touch before we wrap this up, okay? Let's put that screwdriver away. And the lights are all still working, which is great. So I wanted to make it look like it was going under full afterburner. So what I've done, where are they? They're over there. I've made these. Hopefully you can see that. These are 3D printed shock cones for the engines. So they will go in like that, but I need to glue them in. But I just want to pop them in place quickly just to show you. But they'll basically go in like that. And the way I designed these, it's a cone, and then I put some tori, whatever the plural of torus is, some rings inside it, and then printed it all out of clear resin. And so what that will do is when you put the lights on, and it's obviously a bit difficult to see in this light, but actually let's just turn these off for a minute. There, now maybe you can see them a bit better. But they kind of simulate the shock rings and the afterburner cones. So let me just glue those in, and then I think we can wrap this up. And here is our finished article. I'm very pleased with how this has come out, I have to say. The model itself we had a couple of issues with, but you know, it is what it is. It wasn't that bad. We've certainly built far worse. The decals were absolutely brilliant, very happy with those, and they have really made this model so much easier than it could have been. The missiles come out great. It actually looked way better than I had hoped, so I'm very happy with that. And I'm also very pleased with the shock cones on the afterburners. I think they add a certain what's it to the whole thing, give it a good, you know, impression of movement, shall we say. But there you go. Hopefully you've all enjoyed this little series, my little tribute to the people of Ukraine. And as ever, I'd like to thank my top tier patrons, Howard, Amy, Chris and Hawaii Clive-O, for their continued support. And I will see you all in the next video. Slava Ukraini. Cheers, folks. Bye.